Hello guys, today we are going to talk about availability set and availability zone in Azure. Most of the Azure professionals are getting confused basically for how we can distribute our virtual machines in high availability mode, and what is the best possible way to distribute our virtual machines in Azure so that basically we can get around 100% availability of that virtual machines, and our application will be like will be available each and every time. So in Azure basically we have two things. One is availability set and one is availability zone. Like when we are creating any virtual machines, so Azure provides facility to distribute our virtual machines either in two data centers we can say, or two zones, different zones, like across different zones also we can distribute our virtual machines, so that in case if anything goes wrong with one data center, so our virtual machines will not be impacted, and our applications will be our application will be running continuously, so that users will not be impacted on that. So to define those concepts, we have availability set and availability zone. So availability set is nothing basically, so it's the default features of any virtual machines when we are creating. So suppose we created one instance of virtual machines in one of the data center. So availability set is the something basically our same virtual machines will be same virtual machine instances will be created in other server racks also, we can say. So if anything goes wrong with that server rack, like where our virtual machine instances is running, then other server rack instances will be up and running, and our users will be not impacted. But whenever like our complete data center is getting impacted, on that time availability set concept is not working, because our virtual machines will be distributed in a particular data center. In availability set, we can say in simple format, we can say we created one instance of virtual machines, so maximum basically three instances can be distributed, like one plus two other server rack basically in the same data center in availability set. But to overcome these problem, availability zone concept is there. So here basically our virtual machines will be distributed across the region, basically across the zones, we can say. Suppose we have a data center that is in Hyderabad DC, Hyderabad data center. Okay, so in availability set basically in same Hyderabad DC, like two more server rack like our virtual machines will be running on two more server rack in the same data center. But in availability zone basically, but in availability zone of what will be distributed, our virtual machines will getting distributed from Hyderabad DC plus some other regions, like we can say north DC, we can say like some other data centers also in the same regions. Our virtual machines will getting distributed. If anything goes wrong with Hyderabad DC, then still our virtual machines will getting running, so our users and applications will not getting impacted whenever our data center goes failed. So so these are the concept basically for availability set and availability zone. One example I can give. Suppose we have one Azure account that is XYZ company name, and we have some subscription just like JMRT or retail. And if we are talking about, we have geography, we can say that is India. So if we have region, if you are talking about region, one region is South India, and region pair we can say South plus North India. Zone, availability zone basically we can talk about Hyderabad DC data center, basically plus Hyderabad East DC plus Hyderabad North and West DC. So our virtual machines will be distributed in three. We can say it's not exactly three. It will be depends like how we are distributing, how many fault domain we are creating, and how many update domains we are creating. So based on that, our virtual machines will getting distributed. But in availability set, our virtual machines is there. If virtual machine we created that is in Hyderabad North DC plus two server rack in the same data center, that will be there in availability set. But in availability zone, Hyderabad North DC plus Hyderabad East DC plus Hyderabad West DC also, we our virtual machines will getting distributed. How we are defining these things, we can say we have one concept that is fault domain and update domain in Azure basically. So fault domain is nothing basically, when you are like what is the use of these concept fault domain and update domain? To avoid any predefined like patching activities or any maintenance activities, Azure provided the facility to configure fault domain and update domain in our virtual machines. So fault domain is nothing, it's just like we can say our virtual, our virtual machines is getting it's parallelly, basically our virtual machine is setting parallelly, we can say. So if any patching activity is there, so fault domain, if we configure three fault domain, then our all the three virtual machine instances will getting shut down at the same times, and it will be restarted after the patching activity is completed. But in update domain we have a concept like it will like if any patching activity is there and we define our update domains 4, so at a time only four instances of virtual machines will getting rebooted at a time. So if we have 8 instances of virtual machine that is running, so once four instances of virtual machines is getting up, so after some times basically like when we are our services will getting up, so after 1 hour or something time basically we can define it, so other virtual machines will getting rebooted. So due to this basically our applications will not getting completely down, so that application is getting up and running. So these are the concept of fault domain and update domain. So Azure provides basically 3 fault domain and 20 update domain we in Azure we can configure. So these are the concept of availability set and availability zone and fault domain and update domain. I hope you understand. If you face any problem on that, you can ping me or comment me. Thank you.